Docosahexaonic acid. Say that 3 times fast. I could barely say it once. So what is that, you wonder? Well, I'll tell you in just a moment. But first of all, let's think about this. Hey, today's Friday, right? And there's something that's been going on started this month in May. On every Friday, we talk about, or your classroom teacher talks about Billy Frank Jr. And there was an animal really important to him, really important to the people from this area, and has been for generations. Can you think of what that animal is? Right, the salmon. So the reason I bring that up, and you might be wondering why we're talking about salmon when we were just talking about the brain, well, this is the coolest thing. If you want to know what is an excellent food for your brain, one of the first things that comes up on any list is salmon. And salmon has docosahexaonic, oh, I said it wrong. Well, it's also known as DHA, that thing I said at the beginning. It's this really great natural chemical that's in salmon, and it helps protect your brain. So one of the things I want to talk about now is how do we protect our brain? What's an easy way? Well, yeah, there's the obvious outer ways, wear a helmet when you're riding your bike, just being super, super careful. But when we're eating, we can really be mindful of what we're putting into our bodies. And there's so many foods out there that are great for our brains. There's a poster right here on this slide. At least I think it's this direction. And I can't remember if I put another poster on the next slide. I think I did. Anyway, it lists some of the great foods that are really healthy for our brains. And that first one I mentioned, that chemical, that natural chemical, docosahexaonic acid. Ooh, I said it. That acts kind of like a warm winter coat for our brain. It protects it. All those neurons, all those connections that are deep in our brain that we want to keep going, that food really helps protect it. It's also great for helping protect our memories. And I know myself, for somebody who's incredibly forgetful, maybe I should be eating more salmon. Anyway, there's other ways too, you guys, that you can help protect your brain and help keep it healthy. Yes, definitely the foods you eat, but exercise, getting out, being active, getting fresh air also is a great boost to your brain health. And the last one, well, actually, it's not the last one, it's the second one, is getting enough sleep. Sitting up all night, playing video games or whatever is not good for your brain health. Getting lots of rest is very good for it. Now, the last one is keeping your brain active. Learning. Please keep learning, because the brain isn't a muscle, it's an organ, kind of like our heart and our lungs are organs, but it acts like a muscle. And the more you use it, the stronger it is. So if you're learning, if you're reading, if you're just keeping your mind active, and again, not by looking at a screen, I know you really don't have much choice with this whole thing we're going through now, and you're having to do school online. But once you're done, get off the screens and do something. Come up with an experiment. Get outside. Get that exercise. Learn something new. Take up a hobby. Maybe you'll be able to learn how to knit, or learn the piano, or I don't know, learn how to drum, something. Just keep your mind active. And a little bit later on one of the slides, we'll talk about what not to do for your brain. And it also involves food.